Ever since one of the craziest half hours in NHL history, things have finally calmed down a bit as we finally venture into the free agency season for the NHL. Now, while some of these signings won't be able to top the haul for Larson or Subban for Weber one-for-one trades, they were still pretty intriguing to say the least. The first half hour of free agency basically turned into a 2004 version of the Oprah Winfrey Show. You get a 7-year contract, and you get a 6-year contract, and you get a 7-year contract, and you get a 6-year contract, and you get a 7-year contract. Everybody gets a car, or 15, because that's how many of them you could probably afford with the amount of money you just got. Now, I'm not saying all these deals are bad, only a select few of them are. I don't like the lengths of all these deals, especially considering how old some of these players are going to be by the end of them. Not to mention that a lot of these contracts are heavily front-loaded with signing bonuses, no movement, and no trade clauses until the final 2 years. But hey, I'm not an NHL GM, so they must at least know something what they're doing to some extent. I will say, though, that some people shouldn't be praising in the streets because of some of these deals. Remember when the Flyers signed Andrew McDonald to a 6-year deal and people thought that was a good signing because of how he played the previous season? How's that working out for us Flyers fans now? Thanks, Uncle Paul. Really appreciate that one. All I'm saying is don't count your chickens so early. Let's see if you like these deals 2 years down the line, and then we'll talk about it. Now, other than these huge signings, there were actually a lot of good deals that I liked. Perron, 2 years, 3.7 with the St. Louis Blues. Eric Staal, even 3 years, 3.5 with the Minnesota Wild. I think that's a good risk to take. Even Thomas Vanek, 1 year with the Detroit Red Wings. And even Alexander Radulov returning to the NHL to play with the Montreal Canadiens, just to name a few of them. In before Radulov gets benched 10 games in because of his overly aggressive attitude. But hey, at least he gets to play with Shea Weber again. I know there were still a ton more great contracts that were made, but let's see what the Flyers did. So what did Ron Hextall do as a response this year to last year's signing of Michael Neuwirth for a 2-year deal that seems almost magical now? I mean, really, how can you beat the fact that you got a starting goaltender, yes, I said starting goaltender, for under $2 million per year, and nearly stole the starting job from Mason at one point before he got injured, made one of the top 10 saves of the year, and took the President's Trophy winning Washington Capitals to 6 games in the playoffs after basically stealing games 4 and 5. Well, he signed Dale Weiss, 4 years at $2.35 per year. Can he score goals? Sorta. Can he play defense? Yeah. Once again, the length scares me a tad bit, but I'm okay with the signing. They say he's going to play 4th line time. Pretty sure he'll play 3rd line time unless you know who makes the team at a training camp. I still, personally, would have taken a shorter length, less productive, and cheaper Ryan White than Dale Weiss any day. But White was basically, screw this, I'm going to Arizona, boys. Oh, and we also got a new 4th line player, Boyd Gordon. You may ask, why did we sign this guy? Allow me to introduce his defensive category. Those faceoffs though, right? Am I right? No, but seriously, this guy is going to be a solid 4th line penalty killer and great faceoff taker for us. Pretty sure I remember Boyd Gordon was a huge factor in the Flyers versus Arizona Coyotes game in Arizona last year, where the Flyers, I think were down 3 or 4 to nothing, tried to slowly come back into the game after, Shane Doan got injured and then Marty Hansel went after Claude Giroux. It was basically a crazy mess. But they almost came back and won the game if it weren't for Boyd Gordon and his amazing faceoffs at the end of the game. Not to mention, RJ Umberg scored 2 goals that game. Two! I'm also fairly certain his faceoff rating was roughly near .600 last season and somewhere in the range for his career. It's pretty damn good. And then we signed a bunch of AHLers that no one cares about, as well as other teams. Still waiting on Braden Shen to re-sign, though. Any day now, Ron. Any day. But hey, if anyone could pull a rabbit out of a hat, it's Ron Hextall. So let me know what you guys think of the Weiss-Gordon signings, and if you like this format of video, and if I should try them more often. I wanted to do something a little bit different this time. And who knows, maybe this will be the new podcast type of deal that'll take over Flyers-related news and NHL-related news. Who knows? But thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.